Hey, sixth graders. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the virtual earthquake lab. Um, but I'm not going to walk you through the lab itself. I'm going to walk you through the website. The website's a little bit tricky right at the beginning, too. And if you don't follow a couple of the steps at the beginning, the website is going to keep starting you at the beginning over and over again. It gets really frustrating because you keep losing your work. And so I want to make sure you avoid that. I went through these steps in class, but in case you missed class, or if this is a couple of days after class when you're completing the homework and you forgot what to do to troubleshoot, this video will help you get through some of those issues. Again, this is not a video that's going to take you through the lab itself and the procedure. I have that typed out in detail for every step of the procedure in the lab doc. So you have to make sure that you are reading and reading carefully. It explains to you what you're supposed to do at each part. It explains to you how you're supposed to use the website for each part of that procedure. There are places for you to type in observations or to answer questions, but you have to make sure you are reading and reading carefully on my doc. Otherwise, it's going to be a really confusing lab to you. Let's go ahead and take a look at the website so that we can work through some of these problems and you can get through it without too big of a headache. So let me move my picture here and let's click on the link. And like it says here on the doc, one of the most important things to do is that it gives you this opportunity to open the simulator into a new window, and that's going to be very, very important. Otherwise, it's going to keep rebooting it on you. First thing, I don't know what it looks like for you guys on your Chromebooks, but every time I click on the link, it looks like I'm at a broken page here where the picture isn't loading and then it doesn't look like it works. Luckily for us, this part doesn't matter. This is just the link to get us to the simulator. So even though we can't see the little picture here, the link is still active and works. And so all you have to do is click on the box here and it'll take you to our earthquake simulator. Okay. This is the part that gets really confusing. And this is this company, New Path Learning. This is their way of trying to make you buy the material and not get it for free. But here's the workaround, okay? I clicked on that box. I'm here. If I start the lab in about 5 minutes, it's going to stop the lab, try to sell me the software, and take me back to the beginning. The workaround is this. You have to exit out up here in the right corner. It takes you back to this page again. You click on the box for a second time. And now, up here, it says, click on the web link to open this in a new tab. And when you click on this and you get into a new tab, it is trouble-free from there on out. You will not have any issues with it restarting the lab for you. So that's what you have to do. You have to exit out the first time, click the box again a second time, then this will pop up. Maybe it even pops up for you on the first time. Great. If you see it, that's fine. Then just make sure that you go ahead and you click on that link so that it pops up for you. Once you're in here, my lab procedure is going to go through step by step and show you what you have to do on all these locations, okay? But you have 3 different locations here. We are concentrating at first here on the earthquake that happens somewhere in the western part of the United States. They give you seismograph readings and all this stuff. The other thing that I want you to remember with this lab is that it is going to also teach you how to use the information on the website. So for instance, it's going to teach you how to read these seismograms. So when this pops up and you're looking at the lab document and you're like, well, wait a minute, what am I supposed to do? How do I figure out this S&P interval time for station 1, 2, and 3? I see the 3 stations. Well, that's where you got to just keep hitting next and it'll get you there, okay? All right, so it says determine the S&P interval time for each seismogram, okay? So you're like, well, wait a minute, how am I supposed to do that? Well, when you click here, it's going to show you that you have the time that goes across the bottom. You have the P here, the start of the P waves, and the start of the S waves. So the interval time is these dark and blue lines right here where the P wave and S wave start. So what is the length of the S&P interval? Well, they give you multiple choice. It's either 39, 56, or 46. So based off of where this blue line is here, where the S wave starts, I think you can pretty much determine where that's at, okay? Guess what? If you don't do it right, it just tells you that it's wrong, and it won't let you move on until you have the correct one. So, again, pretty easy to understand. You do that for all of them, and then you move to the next. And that's how this lab is going to work. It's going to tell you what the right answers are. It's not going to let you move on until the answers are correct. And so if you run into any problems with stuff, you should be able, I should say, to work your way through the information based off of the correct answers that they give you, and you should be able to figure this out, okay? It's going to go through all these different things as you go through it. When you look back here at the document, and I'm giving you all these steps for what to do, okay? You're going to go through this first earthquake, and you're going to be able to do all this stuff, and then you are going to get to number 9. Number 9 says, what is the magnitude of the earthquake? Then you put that in. Okay, that's the last thing for that station. Number 10 then is choose one of the other locations for an earthquake. Which location did you choose? So we did the Western United States. Then you can pick from 2 other ones. Doesn't matter to me which one you do. Just go ahead and pick it. Okay. And then I will take you through question 17. Part 2. I'm going to type it in here as I'm recording the video. This is extension work. This is optional. This is for extra credit. This is to go a little bit further. Right? This takes you to a different website to go through. Okay. You have to use this data table here. You cannot use their data table as you're going through that site because it doesn't keep any of the information. As soon as you close the data table and go back to the lab, it erases what you typed. So don't use their data table. Use the one that I put in here for you here. Okay, and then again here. And when you've located the epicenter of the earthquakes correctly, there's going to be a star that appears on the page. Okay, now it says call me over to show me so that you can earn your extra credit points. Just take a screenshot. Okay, so in fact, I'll even change that right now. Take a screenshot. Okay. Take a screenshot. All right. Again, I didn't walk you through all the parts of the websites and each part of the lab. I think it's pretty self-explanatory as long as you carefully read. Part 2 is not required. It is optional. It is an extension. But part 1 is required and is due by your next class. Okay. Good luck. Email me if you have any other questions. But make sure you read carefully. See ya.